Hello, how are y'all doing? I hope everybody's doing well. I'm here with Virginia Brown of the United Way, and we're trying to kick off their campaign, and we're very excited to help and support this fantastic group. Not only are they a very big supporter of Glenn County Schools, but of our community. So we really appreciate Virginia and the group and the work that they do for our community, and hopefully we'll get your support as well. They're very important to us, and just again, very thankful for the support that they give us, and anything that you can do a little bit or more is greatly appreciated. So I want to turn over to Ms. Brown and appreciate again all that you do for our community.
Thank you so much, Dr. Phil. We deeply appreciate that. And I'm here to just say thank you. Thank you very much for all that you do to support our community's children every single day. That is so important to what all of us as a community want, and we appreciate that. So thank you for that. So who are we? Who is United Way? For those of you that may not have experience with United Way, here is our logo. We fight for the health, education, and income stability of every person in Glenn and McIntosh counties. That's right here. All of your students, we fight for them. We fight for you. We fight for everyone in this community. And we're here to do this for education and primarily. We're going to watch a very quick video.
Problems. The ones most people don't have the stomach for. The ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. In unforgiving cities, desolate towns, and seemingly docile suburbs. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround a community's most critical problems, and we fight. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community, because change doesn't happen alone. Hope isn't a one-man band, and there's no such thing as self-taught or self-made. We have one life. To live better, we must live united.
Aren't those things that you see on a regular basis? And if you don't your students? Well, we see them at United Way as well, and we're concerned about that. So what are we doing about that? What we really are doing is identifying what the greatest needs in our community are. We gather together, our community leaders and people like you, to tell us what those greatest needs are. So as we're doing that, we change just a little bit every year to make sure that we're targeting our work right here in our local community for what we need. We do that under 3 areas. And as you can see here, our first one is education. Education is everything for us. And we understand that that is the key to getting out of poverty. We'll talk about that in a minute. But one of the things you've heard me talk about for the last 2 to 3 years is a group that we call either opportunity youth, I like that term a little bit better, or disconnected youth. It's those residents between the ages of 16 and 24 that are neither employed nor in school. Now, in here we have, in Glenn County in particular, if you look at the bar there, 22.6% of our young people within that demographic are neither employed nor in school. And that's an exceptionally hard group to reach, but it's also a very high statistic compared to the United States. Look at over the graph there in yellow, 12.3% for the United States and 22.6% for Glenn County. That's not acceptable for us. So what are we doing in some of the other areas? Under the area of health, we're very concerned about the number of uninsured families that exist in Glenn County. As you can see on the graphic here, Georgia has the 4th highest percentage of uninsured families in the entire United States. So what does that mean to you? That means that the children that you teach, that you care for in the Glenn County public school system are not getting the preventive medicine, the preventive care that they need to stay healthy and to be at their peak so that they can learn. If they can't learn, they fall behind, and they don't have the opportunity that the other students do to grow and be successful. But it's more than that. For their mothers, for their parents, for their guardians, their grandmothers, if they are not able to have that health insurance that they need, then more than likely they can't work. If they can't work, they can't be paid. And that drives our poverty that much higher. That's something that's not acceptable to United Way, and we really want to do something about that. So what kinds of strategies are we doing? We have a cradle to career strategy, which means we address our programs and our funding as young as 6 months old and follow across a timeline all the way up to the time that young person enters and has a self-sustaining career. We hope that's by no later than age 24. But at that particular time, we want to be sure that they don't fall into that opportunity youth and are not able to successfully transition to a self-sufficient adulthood. We want them to be able to support their families so that we don't continue this multi-generational poverty that here in Brunswick and Glenn County we have an epidemic of. So our last area is income stability. And in that particular area, this is true testimony that we live in a poor community. Not poor in spirit, but we are poor in income. And we absolutely want to help in any way we can by providing job opportunities and opportunities for success for everyone. One of these bars I really want to bring to your attention here, the one on the far side here is at 35.3%. That's the number of children in poverty within the city limits of Brunswick. Now if you go to the opposite end at 28.8%, it drops to that percentage for all of Glenn County, but that includes St. Simon's and Sea Island and Jekyll Island and some of the more affluent places. What I like to focus on is the 35.3%. This is right here where I'm standing right now at the Board of Education office. This is including within a couple of miles around our offices here. We want to do something about that. We want that to change, and we believe at United Way we have a plan to make that happen. So I've said a lot of bad news, haven't I? But you know, there's good news too. There are good things that are happening here. And as our community has gotten through the recession that has plagued us for so very long with that, we have two industries that are doing quite well. One is construction. I know you're seeing it everywhere. You're seeing buildings and homes and all sorts of things pop up. And those jobs are growing, and they're good paying jobs. So we need to prepare our youth for that industry so they can take advantage of that and overcome the systemic poverty that we have. Hospitality, of course we know that is a major industry here. Thousands and thousands of tourists come to our area to see all the beauty here. Those also are growing, and the good news is the pay in those areas are absolutely growing so that you can sustain a family if you go to work in the hospitality industry. And we want to show those children a pathway to be able to do that. I love this quote, "Education is everything." And I'm not just showing this because I'm talking to the Glenn County Public Schools. This slide is in every presentation I do to every corporation all across the community. We believe this, and we believe that what you're doing here is the core and the solution. So how did we spend your money? If I were you, I'd want to know. I'd want to know exactly, you took my money last year, what did you do with it, Virginia? Well, we invested it right here in Glenn and also in McIntosh counties. And we carefully targeted it to these great programs that we've just already talked to you about. In health, We invested in 13 different programs right here in Glenn County. And we funded programs anywhere from a wonderful new program that's here in the community that rescues teens from the human trafficking trade and catches them up in their schoolwork and returns them to a sustainable way of living apart from that trade. We also provided care at the end of life with that. And for those of you that are like me, that have helped parents through the end of their life, you know that you want to have that in the most dignified and painless way possible. And there's a lot of people that just can't afford that. It's not possible for them to do that. United Way helped by funding that, and we were so privileged to be able to do that. Now, education, one of my favorite parts here. We funded 16 programs, and these are programs that you know extremely well. These are programs from the Boys and Girls Club that provides after-school care and provides those wonderful buses that take them back and forth. And we also, for the communities and schools, that has done such an enormous and wonderful job with our students in the school. 100% graduation rate is what communities and schools had for their outcomes last year. And there's just nothing but wonderful about that. They're a phenomenal group, and we are very proud to reinvest your money into that program. And then finally, in the area of income, we are concerned about the parents and the families that you teach that are homeless. And so we provided funding to 7 different programs that provided anything from temporary shelter to individuals, to children, to others, to feeding the hungry. There are a lot of people in this community that are hungry, and we want to be sure to provide as much as we possibly can. But not only to the homeless, sometimes we've had some community-wide emergencies, such as hurricanes and others with that. And we've also provided food to be distributed up to 1 million pounds after Hurricane Irma, so that we could provide to all incomes so that they would be able to get back on their feet that much more quickly. So what am I asking you to do? I want you to fight with me. Those of you that have seen me and know me know that I'm a fighter, and I am not going to let these communities these community problems get the best of us. Together, we truly can make a difference. And how can we do that? There are 3 different things that all of us can do together. I know all of you are very active in the community and you volunteer, but sometimes you may just feel, oh my gosh, I've been on my feet all day. How can I possibly do another thing I've already given in the classroom or throughout and everything that I've done with the schools? But I want to ask you to please volunteer in the community. Nonprofit organizations need you, and there are lots of ways that you can get connected. You can connect through your church, through your neighborhood, through your social group. If you don't know where to go and where to find some place to volunteer, call us at United Way. We're the home of the Central Volunteer Center for Coastal Georgia. And we're always having opportunities to help nonprofits, help our overall community, and help our children as they are growing and learning, and to make a better situation for them as they prepare for school. I also want you to advocate, because if you can talk about these wonderful nonprofits, either that you see working in your schools or in the community, it makes them stronger. It makes them more able to do the work that they do. And just talking about them, to making sure all your friends and family know about their wonderful work is really wonderful and helps to make that stronger. And then finally, yes, I'd like for you to consider giving a gift. United Way is doing a good job of spreading your investment, as you've heard, into our local community. It does not leave Glenn County. It stays right here, and your donation is leveraged against thousands and thousands of others across the community. And when we bring that together, then we have a substantial amount that will make a true difference. So I hope you will consider a gift to United Way this year, and I certainly look forward to seeing all of you as we continue our partnership with the Glenn County Public Schools over the next year. Thank you so very much.